In that mass shooting in Seattle is still on the loose. Police say one person's in custody, but a second person is believed to have been involved. When the two began firing at one another, 3 were killed, 4 wounded, including a 2-year-old boy. Evacuations underway for 300,000 people in Central Europe. They have fled their homes amid massive wildfires in Spain and France. ABC's Marcus Moore is not far from Madrid.
The region had a very wet winter and also a spring, so there's a lot of vegetation, dry vegetation now. And also Western Europe had its hottest June on record, a kind of perfect storm for these fires to start and then move rapidly across the terrain, and the temperatures are expected to rise again.
Mediators say they have achieved progress in ceasefire talks between the United States and Iran, part of what helped a lapse in the fighting. Done deal. The contract has been inked and the press release is out, making LeBron James officially a Philadelphia 76er. This is ABC News. In the wake of some major AI hacking incidents, a new cybersecurity alliance is gaining traction in the tech world.
The Open Secure AI Alliance is a new group composed of NVIDIA, Microsoft, Dell, and others that advocates for open source AI cybersecurity technology. Open source is a style of computer programming that makes a program's source code available to anyone to build upon or modify. China's AI industry has pitched open source AI as a competitive advantage, but detractors say open source makes proprietary information too available. OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic have not signed on to the alliance. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The Clinton Foundation today unveiling its first new initiative in more than a decade. It's a plan to help state and local governments develop and enact nonpartisan policy solutions to improve health outcomes and economic security for women and children. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Gunfire erupts at the Bite of Seattle, leaving 3 people dead and 4 others hurt. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. On northbound I-5, right at the top of the Michigan curve, the right center lane is blocked right now for a stalled vehicle. It's creating about a 2-mile backup starting at the middle of Boeing Field. It's at least 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle right now. Renton to Bellevue, normal, 40 minutes for a Monday. It's a crawl through those S-curves, though. Both directions of I-90 have heavy traffic. The Valley Freeway is under 45. It's about 45 minutes from Linwood to Seattle and up to an hour and a half from the Everett area to Seattle or Bellevue. Right now, the lake bridges are clear. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. 3 people are dead and 4 others are hurt after a shooting at the Bite of Seattle Sunday night. One of the victims is just a toddler. One suspect is in custody and another is on the run. It all started around 6 o'clock just outside the Seattle Armory. Police say 2 people started shooting at each other. Assistant Police Chief Tyrone Davis says they arrested one suspect and recovered 2 guns. Then he talks about security.
We had dozens of officers working the grounds to try to keep our event safe. And unfortunately, it didn't work out like we had hoped it would.
2 people died at the scene. 1 later died at Harborview. The victims are a 19-year-old man, a 44-year-old man, and a 56-year-old woman. 3 of the others shot have been discharged from Harborview. Only the 2-year-old remains in the hospital. Local leaders are responding to the violence. Senator Maria Cantwell called it a tragic situation, offering condolences to the victims and thanking first responders at Seattle Center, Harborview, and across the city. King County Executive Gurmai Zalhalai says the violence is heartbreaking, saying the Bite of Seattle has long been a place that brings families and the community together. A shootout on Capitol Hill Friday night left 2 bystanders with gunshot wounds. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss has details.
Officers were already in the area for a nightlife emphasis patrol when they heard gunshots near 11th Avenue and East Pike Street just before 11:30. Police say a group of people opened fire on a man walking alone. That man then shot back. During the shootout, 2 bystanders were hit. A man was shot multiple times in the leg and a woman was hit in the ankle. Both were taken to Harborview but are expected to be okay. More than 50 shell casings were found at the scene and several buildings and parked vehicles were also hit and no arrests have been made.
Seattle police are searching for 2 men who parachuted from the Space Needle jumping more than 500 feet. Police say the 2 men bought tickets Friday night for the observation deck, then came out of a bathroom with helmets and gear, climbed over glass barriers, and backflipped off the edge. Witnesses were stunned and tell ABC.
They were running towards the glass and they jumped up. And that's when Jacob was like, they're climbing up. And I'm like, oh my God, go watch Emerson, go.
Police say the men will face criminal charges once they're taken into custody. Now for your weather. We've got lots of clouds this morning, and a few places could see a sprinkle or two, but highs will be close to 80. Right now, it's about 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Ursula is out today. She'll be back tomorrow. I'm here. Chef is here, and Nick is here as well. We got a lot to go over today, and so let's get right to it. Top stories of the day, brought to you by Pendergast Law. Yesterday, at the Seattle Bite Food Festival here that's been going on for years, there was a tragedy. To help us understand what's been going on, we brought in KIRO News reporter Luke Ducey in to talk about it. And Luke, walk us through the timeline. What do investigators and folks believe happened from the first shots fired to the first arrest?
Yep, let's get those nuts and bolts for you right now. It all started around 6 o'clock yesterday, just outside the Seattle Center Armory. Here are the gunshots caught on video. At that moment, thousands of people ran in all directions to get to safety. Police say 2 people started shooting at each other, and the victims were caught in the crossfire. According to sources who track gang activity, this was a shooting between 2 rival gangs and had nothing to do with the innocent people who lost their lives.
People laying on the ground, they were being worked on. One of them, they put in a body bag, and the other one was still being worked on. His kids were like maybe 15 feet away from him.
The witnesses at the scene there, 2 people died at the scene. 1 later died at Harborview Medical Center. They include a 19-year-old man, a 44-year-old man, and a 56-year-old woman. 3 of 4 others who were taken to Harborview have now been discharged. Only a 2-year-old, that toddler who was shot, remains in the hospital. There are recordings out there, 911 recordings of officers asking for a child-sized tourniquet to get to the scene to help save his life.
Now, Luke, right now, of the unfortunately, there are 3 that are deceased. We don't know if one of those of the deceased could potentially be a part of that beef. We don't know confirmed whether or not.
Not confirmed, but it sounds like no. The answer is no, because police are saying that they are that there's no risk to the community, but there are reports of someone running off as well, that a second suspect's out there, and their detectives are looking for anyone else that may have been involved.
Okay. I want to talk about security. At this point, Seattle Center obviously had a heavy police presence during that time because it was the Bite of Seattle. Can we talk about that part of it? Because I know that cameras were talked about potentially, if they were on, if they were off. Talk about that, Luke.
Yeah, so apparently the mayor's office, Katie Wilson's office, saying that cameras were on and operating. Seattle police coming out there late last night, and saying that cameras didn't catch anything. They were just positioned in a way, I guess, that the shooting happened in an area where the cameras were not pointed, so nothing to go on there. Okay. As far as security goes, a lot of questions about security and maybe moving forward as well. You know, there is a quote from Assistant Police Chief Tyrone Davis saying that they thought they had dozens of officers there on grounds, and they thought that would be enough, but unfortunately it was not to prevent a shooting. I mean, difficult to prevent something like that.
Right. All right. Let's move on to, because one of the things that was discussed last night and also being discussed this morning in how long it took for the press conference to happen. If I'm not mistaken, I'm hearing that it took up to close to 5 hours for that to happen. I know I was asleep by the time it did happen. Tell us what's going on with that.
Usually in circumstances like this, especially when you have a mass shooting, something of this magnitude, there's going to be a spokesperson there at the scene. And a spokesperson typically, even if they have no information, will come up to reporters and say, hey, I don't have anything for you right now. We're still working on it. But they might give you a soundbite or something like that, just something to let you know, hey, we're working on it. Here's some information I can share, just some facts, but they're working on a larger press conference later on. In this case, there was nothing. There was crickets from city leaders. I don't want to say just police, but city leadership. Okay. And city leaders delayed that press conference until around 11 p.m. Shooting happened at 6, 11 p.m. Finally got information, delayed crucial information to the public. Questions like, what journalists want to know to relay to the public is there another shooter on the loose running around with a gun that we need to know about, that people need to know about? Should they be locking their doors? Was this an act of terror? Are there other things going on in the city? Are we all in danger? For 5 hours, got none of that information. Journalists there at the scene started getting really tense with police officers because they were setting up the press conference saying, what's going on? You've got to give us something. You got to tell us something. An officer said they were waiting for other dignitaries who wanted to be there, including the governor and Representative Pramila Jayapal. And when the two of them got there, they had a press conference, and they really didn't add much information at all.
I just want to express my deep appreciation for the first responders.
Our prayers, our hearts are with all those who were affected by tonight.
Homicide detectives are working to track down, again, everyone involved. You're urged, if you have any information, to call the Seattle Police tip line. But yeah, there was a delay, G, and a lot of people were really bent out of shape about that.
So, okay, we find out that there was a delay in the press conference and letting the public and letting the journalists and media know as to what was going on. Was there any type of, because of the delay during the same time, was there any type of miscommunication?
Sure.
Because I think that's what the people want to know in a response to something like that. They want to make sure that the communication is on point. Can you talk to that?
Absolutely. There was a one mess up out of the mayor's office in the heat of the moment. Look, information's flying around. They said so themselves. Mayor Katie Wilson's office announced that 2 people had been arrested. Instead, it was only 1.
In any situation like this, there's information flying around. And so we had an initial report that 2 suspects might have been taken into custody, and that ended up being untrue.
But what listeners should know is that when misinformation or inaccurate information is put out there, that's why a lot of times they do delay information going out because they want to make sure it's accurate. As journalists, and as the public, you should too, but you start to question what else are they getting wrong. If it's something small like that, and then it starts to lead to questions of, is the police department communicating with the mayor's office? Are they on the same page? Who's in charge? It kind of, gives you some pause about, what's going on here as far as leadership. That's a problem when we as journalists need to get crucial information out to the public and it's inaccurate. It makes us look bad, but it makes everyone look bad in that situation. Everyone needs to be as buttoned up as possible and make sure the information they're putting out there is accurate, because it could mean life or death in certain situations if it were other crucial information that the public needed to know.
Well, Luke, you I just take off your news hat. I just want to talk to Luke Ducey himself. You go to a lot of press conferences. Yep. You've been doing this for years, a lot of times. When this delay happened, in real time, what did this delay say to you? I know what it has said. Everybody has different opinions about this delay. I want to know specifically what it has said to you. What type of extra questions did you have? What did this do for you?
My reaction is this, and I'll be honest, and I'll speak as a journalist as well, because I have been to a lot of these. Typically, it does not take this long to get information out. So my first thought was, this is a big, either this is much bigger than what we think, like it involves a lot more people and a lot more things, which wasn't the case. It was either that, or it was, they're waiting on something or someone. And in this case, yes, they said they were waiting on other dignitaries want to be here, was the quote from one officer. And that tells me that politicians want to be there to get their face in front of the cameras and deliver whatever message they were going to deliver. I mean, they said the right things, I will say that. But in addition to, Governor Ferguson did tout his record on voting for legislation and approving legislation to hire more police officers, which is good. But I don't know, is that the time and the place for that? I'm not sure. It's not for me to, it's for the public to chew that up. It's for me now to deliver the message that was going on. But yeah, that was my reaction, that people wanted to get in front of the camera and say, we're here to support this. And, is that the best use of time and messaging? I'll leave that for other people to decide, but that's what happened.
You listen to the voice of Luke Ducey, KIRO Newsradio reporter here on the Gee and Ursula Show. And over the next 24 to 48 hours, Luke, can you set the stage of what happens next? I do know that they do have one alleged suspect in custody as of one right now. Can you set the stage for what happens next?
Yeah, a lot of investigation goes on. The ATF is there, was there on scene last night, as well as the FBI. Those are other resources. So what you want to do from a police investigative standpoint is track down every lead, every witness account. You want to gather all that as evidence, but you also want to track down any kind of lead that would take you in another direction, rather than it just being isolated to what appears to be, and what sources say is a gang war between two rival gang members who saw each other and opened fire. Is there anything else involved? Where else does that lead? As far as the courts, the one person who was arrested is scheduled to make an appearance today. It is a bond hearing. It's not an arraignment, so they won't be formally charged. But this will be a hearing where they say prosecutors will say we believe they should be held in jail without bond, probably, or a very high bond. And the defense will argue the opposite. That suspect doesn't have to appear for this. So that's what happens on the court side. And on the other side, what's most important right now are these, the families of the people who were killed, and the victims who were there, who are recovering right now, discharged. All of our thoughts and prayers should be going to these families, and what do they need, and what kind of support do they need. It was both terrifying, I'm sure, for everyone, but can you imagine you just went for a family outing on a Sunday night downtown Seattle? It's the Bite of Seattle, and your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, your aunt, your uncle, they're not coming home from that.
Luke Ducey, thank you. And if possible, I would love for you to join us at 10 o'clock if there's any other updates or anything like that, and you kind of keep us posted.
Absolutely, I will. You bet.
That is Luke Ducey, KIRO News reporter here on the Gee and Ursula Show. I think this is a heavy time for the city. First, I want to just say, after something like this usually happens, there's always a rush to try to explain this. I know Chef and I, through text messages this morning, phone calls this morning, talking about this and coming in to talk about something like this. And I just want to first say that in our job, there is no easy way to discuss something like this. But I do know that there always seems to be a rush to assign blame, a rush to debate crime, policing. There's politics, there's security. We want to talk guns. We want to talk downtown Seattle and everything else that usually comes when talking about this afterwards. Will there be time for those conversations? Yes, no doubt about it. My thing that I want to talk about right now is I don't want us to just quickly move into these arguments, because it feels in my heart that we forget about the people impacted. And when I say people impacted, there were people that died. There were people that were injured. There's families out here that receive phone calls that nobody should have to ever receive. Somebody woke up expecting a normal summer day yesterday. It was beautiful in Seattle, to then experiencing the worst day of their life. There were people at and around the Seattle Center that heard those shots. People were running. People saw other people running. Friends lost friends, didn't know where they were. Family members didn't know where they were. Or someone said, hey, I'm going to go down to the bite. And maybe you haven't heard from that friend, and that friend, maybe they didn't go to the bite. And so maybe you're worried. I'm just trying to show you how workers, vendors, first responders, families, everybody will be replaying this moment right here. Because, trauma doesn't always show up immediately. There's somebody right now that was there and that's still in shock, that might not feel it until today, tomorrow, or even the next day. The part that we see and hear about this is I just want to make sure that when we start talking about the delay in press conferences and what politician was there and what policies are being talked about and what politics are being talked about, I knew today after I was talking to Chef, I knew this morning I wanted to make sure, please, can we continue to keep the focus on the victims, the families, vendors, first responders, all of the people that were there, that were impacted. The city of Seattle in 2026, things have been going pretty decent. There was the Seahawks Super Bowl run. There was the parade that happened. There was the World Cup that happened. There was a lot of big activity. Hundreds of thousands of people have come to this city. And in fairness, our elected leaders out here, law enforcement, event organizers, community groups, community leaders have done a tremendous job in this city. I'm saying that because I don't want people to come and wipe away the hard work that still happens, and people try their best, but it's the politics that gets in and they just kind of muddy the water on things. And then there's another angle, the consequential angle of there's still more summer left. And I remember when I was younger and there would be some shootings in the neighborhood. And I remember sometimes me and my buddies would sit around and we'd be like, oh man, we know what that means. That means that we might not be able to go and do some of these things. Not because our parents were upset with us, because rightfully so, sometimes parents, they just want to hold their kids closer, tighter, so that ability to be able to go downtown to visit your friends and hang out as a teenager, that might go away because parents, again, are caring about their kids. Totally understand that. So as we talk about this, and at the 10 o'clock hour, we'll bring it up again, I wanted to just take this time to really talk about the impact that this has on this entire city, on everyone, on people that were there, people that were not there. There will be questions now being asked about security. There'll be questions being asked about who you're with and what are you going through. And I think the city of Seattle right now is just mourning the people that have been impacted, mourning the victims that will never get another chance to be on this earth again because of a tragic incident downtown Seattle. Coming up here on the Gee and Ursula Show at 9:47, how much of a raise do you need to be able to keep up with the cost of groceries? There's been a real increase over the last 7 years. Up next, your long-term care tax dollars will start paying out this month. We'll tell you who's collecting. Next, Gee and Ursula.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Did you know that there's a place where you can find out everything you've ever wanted to know about DUIs, but maybe afraid to ask? Yes. DUI Heroes has its own YouTube channel at DUI Heroes, where you can find out the latest on DUI and those questions. There's 36 separate videos with free information about what happens during a DUI arrest. Be informed. You can fight back. Give them a call at 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the big unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the Club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. There are more cases of the foodborne illness known as cyclosporiasis caused by contaminated lettuce. The CDC says the lettuce is linked to a handful of more states, including Illinois and Pennsylvania, and that there are thousands of cases in nearly every state in the U.S. detected. This comes as health officials are trying to contain a salmonella outbreak caused by eggs. More from ABC's Elizabeth Schultz.
This is also coming as we are seeing a salmonella outbreak. The FDA says almost 100 people got sick with salmonella across 17 states, and eggs are the likely source of that. Midwest Poultry Services issued a voluntary recall of eggs sold at Kroger and other stores.
3 people are dead and 4 others are wounded after a shooting at the Bite of Seattle last night. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports one of the victims, a 2-year-old boy, remains hospitalized.
Gunshots outside the Seattle Center Armory. As thousands ran for safety, 2 people died at the scene. Another died at Harborview Medical Center. Witnesses were left stunned.
People were laying on the ground. They were being worked on. One of them, they put in a body bag, and the other one was still being worked on. His kids were like maybe 15 feet away from him.
4 others were rushed to Harborview. 3 have been discharged. Sources say 2 rival gang members opened fire, hitting 7 innocent victims. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police say they arrested 1 suspect and recovered 2 guns. A second suspect is still on the run. New details are out about a dangerous domestic violence incident in Snohomish County earlier this month. Snohomish County deputies say an armed suspect threatened residents with a knife before barricading himself inside and setting the house on fire. Deputies forced their way into the burning home.
Okay. Get on the ground.
They arrested the suspect, confirmed no one else was inside the home, and Snohomish Fire put out the flames. The suspect remains jailed on multiple felony charges and 2 outstanding warrants. A reckless driving stunt ends with a pickup truck crashing into a Starbucks drive-thru. Moses Lake police say a 61-year-old lost control of his 1984 pickup just after 6 a.m. on Saturday. This was along Kittleson Road after accelerating and fishtailing. The truck slammed into the building, injuring at least 1 employee inside. The driver is expected to be cited for reckless driving. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. It's over 50 minutes right now from Federal Way to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, 40 minutes. It's very slow through those S-curves still. The Valley Freeway is under 45 minutes. It's about 50 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio. For your forecast, expect a mix of clouds and sunshine across western Washington today. Highs will be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Tomorrow, a few spotty light showers, along with cooler temperatures topping out in the low to mid 70s. Right now, it's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Coming up in about 12 minutes, how much of a raise did you get this year, if any? Text us, 888-973-5476, because what we're going to do is we're going to compare how your paycheck is keeping up with the price of groceries. So send that text, and coming up in 12 minutes, we will discuss that. Now, remember all of that debating that was happening and talked about when it came to the long-term care tax? Well, we've been paying into that program for 3 years, and now, for the first time, eligible residents can begin collecting benefits. Someone making $100,000 a year is paying out about $600 a year. The lifetime benefits paid out starts at $36,500, though it will be adjusted for inflation over time. So to catch you up on a little bit on what the money can be used for, it can be used for in-home caregivers. By the way, we talked about this last week. Medical equipment, meal delivery, transportation, and modifications such as wheelchair ramps. Family members can also be paid to provide care. In-home care aide Vicky Bickford tells the Columbian this is going to keep people safe in their home instead of living in a car. To be clear, the benefits will not cover the costs of long-term care. The median cost of receiving 30 hours of in-home care a week reached $51,480 a year in 2025. But advocates say the program is intended to provide some breathing room before families are forced to drain their savings. I want to be honest about this because I was reading up on this and being reminded. The first thing that stood out, and I stopped and said something to Chef, the first thing to start off was $36,500. That's where it starts with the payout on benefits. And by the way, you can access that money early. So like, hey, look, I'm having a hard time. I need to be able to stay in my home. And you can access those funds early. But I just want to just say, $36,000, $500. Long-term care can cost thousands every month. You all know this. You guys teach me on the text line. 7 in 10 people will require some form of long-term care in the United States. And with this situation, while it is a bit of a solution, it's not the safety net that you kind of think. And sometimes this safety net is given to someone to keep them from falling even further. So here's my hope as we continue to have this discussion, because I don't think this is the fix. I think that we already don't do enough in this country to take care of our elder brothers and sisters, period. I've been saying that. I'll continue to say that. And I hope that we're having this conversation will lead to a bigger discussion. Like we need to, on this show, we need to talk about it more. We can't assume that government and Medicare or even your family will have it all covered. I think more and more these things are going to be hard on our country. And I was thinking about something, and last week, I know somehow we're talking about childcare. And off the air, I had a conversation talking about how in some communities, back in the day, maybe you all know about this as well, if sometimes in your neighborhood, there was that someone in your neighborhood that's like, hey, babe, I'll watch the kids while you go to work. Because maybe you could not afford childcare. So a lot of times communities were more together years ago than they are now. And not the reason that neighborhoods aren't together because people don't want to be. Neighborhoods aren't together because affordability. Housing affordability makes us have to move. There's a lot of people, maybe you used to live in a certain area for 20, 30 years. You're no longer living there because you might have been priced out. Now you're living somewhere that is brand new, and so you don't really know your surroundings. I'm bringing this up because this is where all hands on deck are needed to help out with long-term care. So if this conversation and topic reminds us all, it reminds more people to start planning for long-term care before they need it, then I believe that this is a conversation worth having. And I'll say again, just a reminder, Chef, 7 in 10 in this article, 7 in 10 individuals in the United States will require some form of long-term care.
Yeah. I guess what struck out to me in this article is when this tax was being debated, we had a lot of conversations about whether it would be enough to cover people. Obviously, it won't, and whether it was worth getting taxed. And I think my opinion is kind of evolved on this because if you look at what it's costing us, right? Like I'm probably paying out $400 a year. That's not an insignificant amount of money. But at the same time, there's going to be a point in my life where I might slip and fall, right? And I'm going to go into the doctor. I'm going to go into the ER. They're going to say, hey, you're going to need rehab care. You're not going to be able to stay at home. And at that point, the doctor's going to say, so what are your options here? Where can you go? And there's going to be people who have the option of either not paying for treatment, ending up on the streets, or now there's an option where they can say, hey, look, we can get you 2 weeks at a skilled care facility using this new tax.
Right.
So I'm glad that it's there. I know it's not going to pencil out for a lot of people on what they've paid out versus what they'll receive, but I'm glad it's there.
I'm glad it's there too. And I don't want to poo-poo this because it's like it's a start. And my daddy used to say, I don't know if you ever heard this before, but Ann is better than Nan, right? It's a little something. But I think as we're having this discussion, I think collectively we can agree that there needs to be more. This is a real financial blind spot for a lot of us here in this country. I want to say it again, 7 in 10 people will need some form of long-term care during their lifetime. So while Washington creates, Washington cares, we need to have a continued discussion going forward because as we all know, right, we talk often about how our young generation, it's tough for them to find high-paying jobs, to be able to live where they work. We talk about that all the time, but we also need to focus and talk more about the financial blind spots of our population where you talk about long-term care being something that needs to be had. How much of a raise did you get this past year, if any? Text us, 888-973-5476. What we're going to do is this, simple. We're going to compare how your paycheck is keeping up with the cost of groceries. And yes, we got to talk about groceries because I always say groceries on that budget, that's the one that always gets dug into. Your cell phone bill, rent, fixed costs, they stay the same, but it's always those groceries. We talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, you're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed. Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
How much of a raise did you get last year? Text us. 888-973-5476. Hey, can I, for 2 to 3 minutes, I need a favor. Can we take our political affiliation and just put that off to the side? And here's the reason why we're asking about your raise and getting a little nosy, if you will. Since 2019, grocery prices have gone up 33%, which is the biggest spike in food prices in over 50 years. To put that into perspective, during the previous 7 years, prices went up 6.4% total. Those numbers from the AP. And that means 1 in 5 of us, food is swallowing 1/3 of those paychecks before taxes. Before I get to the text messages, grateful that you all are texting in, I just want to talk about something that I was thinking about during the break. My granddaughter's here, and she's out, Izzy, she's out there sitting down, and I tell you, shout out to all of you all that have 7-year-olds out there. Hey, it's a lot of work. And I was thinking, I remember the last time my kids were 7 years old. And I'm thinking, my heart goes out to what is happening when you hear about 33% spike in groceries over the last 7 years. But there's a number that really nobody talks about. And I don't want to say it's a number, but it's a word. It's nutrition. When a lot of us families are trying to make a budget work, the first thing we cut is groceries. We cut what's on the plate. You know, those fresh berries that someone might like to get. I know Chef loves his fresh berries. They might become canned fruit at that time. Some of those fresh vegetables that you were probably getting at some point have now become top ramen. Lean protein that maybe you would get on the outskirts at the butcher that way and over by the deli. My point is quality gets sacrificed for quantity because it's so important. Now I want to step back and read some of the text messages that are coming in because we ask you how much of your raise get. And by the way, we're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about flights. We're not talking about hotels. We're not talking about vacations. We're not talking about energy. We're not talking about gas prices. We're just talking about groceries. That's it. Ask you all how much of a raise you got last year. Kerrigan and Moses Lake says, G, my company has not given cost of living increase or raise in over 6 years. Cost of everything else has doubled in cost and now struggle. Ken in the 206 says, 0 pay raise this last year. Nikki says, the raise my husband got from peanuts, in fact, he doesn't even look at it anymore because it's a joke. He's been there 12 years and it's laughable. Now, Matt from Lacey texted and says, $6 every year, but I'm union, so it's in the contract. This contract is for another 2 years. Britton Pialip says, I have not received a raise or a cost of living increase in over 10 years. Let me stop for a second. And one of the things, and this is how I know that we collectively are having a hard time right now in this economy, because have you all noticed that a lot of times when these conversations come out, hey, just so you all know, there's been a 33% spike in grocery prices. Oh, and this is the biggest spike in the last 50 years. And have you noticed? They'll come out with things you should do to help your grocery bill be cheaper. They need you to coupon. They need you to do all of these things. And sometimes you do those things and you might save. You might save $25, $30. But sometimes it's exhausting. Like, sometimes it is before you even go to the grocery store. Rock with me for a minute. You ever get tired before you even go in the store to shop? When you go in there and you're knowing the things that you should be getting, but you can't be getting because of the way everything's structured, because of gas prices, because of your rent, because of your cell phone, because of the fixed cost that you have, insurance, car payment, the fixed costs that you have, you're in the store, in the grocery store, and that's where you are trying to balance the rest of your life, in a grocery store. And the reason why I said everyone take off their political affiliation and hat is because this impacts us all. And even if it doesn't impact you, you might have a family member that's impacted by this. You might have a coworker, a loved one, a friend, a neighbor that is impacted by this. So when you hear 33% increase in grocery prices, and we're not even talking about the restaurants, we're just talking about groceries, Chef.
Man.
Just groceries.
The numbers coming in right now. We had one person say they got a $6 raise union. We had one other person say 4%. The several dozen minimum other people who have written in have said between 0 and about 2%. The vast majority of people writing in have said, I have got nothing. I've got nothing over the past 3 years.
I'm just talking about groceries. I'm not talking about any other part of our life. Just talking about groceries. And again, this topic right here, as I made sure that I came to the station this morning with my granddaughter, and she's got a bag. She's got cut up strawberries in there, Lillian, cut up all this kind of stuff. She's got all the stuff that she wants. And then, Chef was like, hey, you want some hot chocolate? And she got hot chocolate. And I was just thinking, like, wow. She's able to just be great, be fantastic. But my heart goes out to the youngsters where it's a struggle. That's all I'm saying. There is no political thing to this. This is all of us as a people, your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, all of us collectively together are having this impact hit us all. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we will have Luke Ducey. He's going to come in and join us. We're going to get the latest on what happened, the tragedy down at Seattle Center. We'll discuss this next. Gee Ursula.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Buckle up. It's going to be a hot summer. And if you have poor or no insulation in your attic, you could be losing up to 40% of your energy efficiency. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing has you covered. This summer, bundle energy-saving attic insulation with a new roof and save 10%. Plus, with no money down on your project, you don't pay until your project is complete. Call 206 Roofing to save 10% when you bundle a new roof and attic insulation. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. And Lionel Richie. The tour continues. Seattle, you're invited to sing a song all night long. Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Climate Pledge Arena, August 3rd. Get tickets starting at $34 at livenation.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
If your water heater's failing or running out too fast, we've got CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program. Get a new system starting at just $44.99 a month with lifetime repairs and maintenance included. Book your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Seattle police and state authorities investigating Sunday's deadly shooting at a food festival in the heart of the city's downtown. 3 people were killed, 4 others injured, including a toddler. Police say it appears 2 suspects were involved in a dispute and a shootout. 1 is in custody, and the search for the other suspect continues. ABC's Alex Stone is on scene and has witness sound.
A bullet landed into the tree that was right next to us.
Ava Hendricks was at the festival with her family when the gunfire erupted.
It was very scary, and after the whole thing was over, and we're just waiting for the police to come, and we're just looking at each other like, how are we still alive? How did we make it through that?
1 suspect has been taken into custody. Police say another suspect is still on the loose.
A fragile pause in hostilities between the U.S. and Iran, the White House says, to give diplomacy a chance to take root. It follows 2 weeks of airstrikes between both sides. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed this hour. This is ABC News. The Agriculture Department is lifting its ban on importing beef from Mexico.
11 months ago, with the parasitic New World screwworm creeping toward Texas, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins suspended imports of cattle from Mexico, saying at the time,
"Do we expect beef prices to continue to rise? Perhaps."
Despite the ban, the first screwworm was detected in the U.S. in June. But with beef prices at an all-time high, Rollins has lifted the ban on imports of Mexican cattle, starting with the port of entry in Douglas, Arizona, next month. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
An investigation is underway after more than a dozen campers at a YMCA in New Jersey got sick at a summer camp after allegedly consuming mushroom-laced edibles. Camp officials say that one camper shared the chocolate edibles with children between the ages of 10 and 13 years old. Authorities say that they are all said to be in stable condition. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Seattle police continue searching for a second suspect after Sunday's mass shooting. More on that, but first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. It's 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes. The Valley Freeway is just under 45. 40 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. 1 hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Lake bridges remain clear. This traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. 3 people are dead and 4 others are wounded after a shooting at the Bite of Seattle Sunday night. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports in those moments of chaos, the mayor's office put out inaccurate information and the chief of police never showed up.
Mayor Katie Wilson blaming information flying around for announcing an inaccurate account of events at Seattle Center.
So we had an initial report that 2 suspects might have been taken into custody, and that ended up being untrue.
While Police Chief Sean Barnes never showed up. Multiple outlets reporting he often travels to Chicago on weekends and holidays to be with his family. Sources say 2 rival gang members, including a 19-year-old killed, fired at each other. The 6 others hit by bullets, innocent victims caught in the crossfire. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police say they arrested 1 suspect who is 15 years old and recovered 2 guns. A second suspect is still on the run. Local leaders are responding to the violence. Congresswoman Susan DelBene says no one should have to experience that kind of tragedy. Senator Maria Cantwell called it a tragic situation. And King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai says the violence is heartbreaking. Kent police are investigating a deadly shooting during a family graduation celebration. Officers responded just before 2 o'clock Sunday morning to the 900 block of East Cherry Hill Street, where they found a 41-year-old man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Despite life-saving efforts, he died at the scene. Investigators say a verbal argument escalated into a physical fight before a 40-year-old man allegedly pulled a gun and opened fire. The suspect was arrested at the scene. Federal investigators are set to interview the pilot of that Kenmore Air seaplane crash today. The float plane went down near Sucha Island last Thursday with 11 people on board. Everyone survived, but 4 passengers were hurt. The plane left Lake Union for Roche Harbor when it made an emergency landing and caught fire. According to the Seattle Times, the wreckage is now part of the hangar in Friday Harbor. Preliminary findings could come in about 2 weeks. Now for your forecast. After a cloudy start, sunshine this afternoon, highs near 80. Tomorrow will be much cooler with a few light showers. Right now, it's 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula is out today. She will be back tomorrow. Grateful that you all are with us today. Chef is here. Nick is here. Let's get right to it.
What's new at 10?
One other mass shooting that happened here in Seattle happened last night. Yesterday evening, 3 people are now dead, and another 4 people were shot, including a 2-year-old little baby. Luke Ducey, KIRO News reporter, is here right now. He does have an update for what we had at 9 o'clock. But before we get to the update of what you had, first, can you take us back to the nuts and bolts of what happened yesterday?
Yeah, and the brand new information from Seattle Police right now, as we get through, the facts of what happened, is the suspect they arrested, they say, is just 15 years old, a 15-year-old. It all started around 6 o'clock yesterday, Sunday, just outside the Seattle Center Armory. Here are the gunshots that were caught on video. It's unclear how many shots were fired, but that sounds like at least more than a dozen, maybe even twice that much. At that point, thousands of people ran in all directions to get to safety. Police say 2 people started shooting at each other, and the victims were caught in the crossfire. According to sources who track gang activity, this was a shooting between 2 rival gangs. It had nothing to do with those innocent people who lost their lives, and that one of the people killed, a 19-year-old, could be a gang member, one of those gang members who were firing at each other. Again, 2 people died at the scene. One later died at Harborview Medical Center. They include a 19-year-old man who is believed to be, according to sources, a gang member that was involved in that shooting, a 44-year-old man and a 56-year-old woman. 4 other people were taken to Harborview as well with varying conditions. 3 of them have been discharged. The 2-year-old, G, remains in the hospital.
Okay, Luke, this is information that we did not have in the 9 o'clock hour, and they just put this out, and you're bringing this to us. A 15-year-old is supposed to be the alleged suspect in this situation. Does that change anything? I know before you had mentioned that sometime today that there might be a bond hearing to start. Now that we know that this is a 15-year-old, what does that change anything when it comes to this?
Yeah, so the hearing today will focus on should that person be held or released into the custody of a guardian or parent. That's what they'll be discussing if, in fact, they're 15-year-old. Well, they are 15, according to police. So that kind of changes that dynamic as well. But it also changes things, looking into the future. We're going to want to know a name and while we may not, because they are juvenile and they're not charged as an adult yet, I don't know word if they will, we probably won't name that person. We will definitely dive into and try to find any kind of record on that 15-year-old because laws are different for juveniles in the possession of handguns versus adults in the possession of handguns that commit these kinds of crimes. For juveniles, it takes kind of a 5 strikes and you're out,
right?
Rather than adults charged, not charged necessarily, but adjudicated very differently.
Luke, I want you to say that again because there's a potential that that was probably glossed over. You just said something about a juvenile here in the state has how many times?
5. 5 times can be in possession of a handgun before jail time and mandatory like that.
Thank you, Luke. If there's any other update, can you please come in and let us know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
This is a
you.
developing story for sure.
Yes, thank you. I was going to move on from discussing this, but I can't.
Yeah.
We're talking about 15, y'all. 15 years old. Let that sink in for a sec. Not even old enough to vote. Not old enough to drive themselves. Not old enough to buy cigarettes, alcohol. Not old enough to rent a hotel room. But somehow, old enough to get a gun. To change the lives of people forever. To have an impact on this city. To have people changing plans for the summer. There will be people who will decide in the future that they might not even want to go to any type of crowded events because of this. Now, I turn the text line off because I know what ends up happening. And I don't want this to skew what I have to say. Because what ends up happening is people will bring up simple replies. It's the parents. It's social media. It's mental illness. It's the gangs, which, by the way, according so far, some of the reports are that there are some gang violence.
I never hear mental illness when it comes to gang shootings.
It's schools.
But, yeah.
And I just want to say the truth is it's all of those things and even more, even things that we don't talk about. A kid, I've been 15 before. It's not normal. A kid doesn't wake up in one morning and just at 15 being capable of something like this. This is someone is 15. It didn't happen in one morning. This is often the result of years of influences, some type of trauma, anger, just poor decision making. Exposure to violence, all of those things come up. Sometimes it is mental health, but I don't want to go into it because we don't know enough. But only just how much it stands out to me, and you heard Luke Ducey talk about it, and I want to remind us all, and this is something that I just don't understand. We've been talking about this. In the state of Washington, right now, a juvenile has up to 5 times of being caught with a firearm before there are any consequences. Help me understand. Well, we've been talking about this. Of all the things that we talk about, it blows my mind that this is still a thing. And I don't know if it's going to change, but how can it not? How can a teen be able to be up and get caught up to 5 times before something happens, before any consequences? You get caught once? Okay, don't do that again. You get caught twice, chef? Don't do that again. You get caught 3 times? Don't do that again. You get caught 4 times? Don't do that again. You mean to tell me somebody get caught with a firearm as a teenager 4 dang on times and you get told don't do it again? That's it? Every 15-year-old, I've been 15. And when you're 15, you've been 15. 15-year-olds are shaped by adults, period. 15-year-olds and what they do, what they're thinking about, what they're talking about, what they're watching, who they're hanging with, from adults. Communities that are around them. And it's heartbreaking because as people start to blame all the different things, we got a real dilemma in this country. A real dilemma. Now, I want to ask, and I want to ask you because I feel like I've been talking too much. Text me, 888-973-5476. And my question to you is this. Are you still going to go to big events? Are you still going to big events, even before this, when it comes to festivals? Sure. We talk about all the different things, but the Seafair Torchlight Parade was yesterday, and I had no idea. I didn't realize this, and maybe I'm not in the know, but I mean, I do media all the time.
You're pretty plugged in.
I'm pretty plugged in. Is it me, or are you with me? Like, I did not realize Torchlight was also this weekend. So my question, Chef, and I need you to bring you in on this one. Are we just not really doing events anymore? Or is Seafair itself, which, by the way, Seafair is this upcoming weekend, are these things not being talked about? Is the young generation not being a part of it? Is it dying out? Is it dying out with we older generation? Why didn't I know about Torchlight?
Because there's so much more going on today. It used to be like there was always a bite of Edmonds going on for years. This bite of Seattle. But as far as like the big summer event for decades, it's been Seafair. And there is something going on nearly every weekend in every medium and small size town in the Puget Sound region. You do not need to come to Seattle anymore. It used to be that if you wanted to have Chinese food, Vietnamese food, right, you had to go to the International District. If you wanted a good meal, period, you needed to come to Seattle. But you can get all of that in Kent, in Renton, in Everett, in Snohomish. And, I think there's certainly some hesitancy about, going to the big event. That's certainly a factor in some people's mind because of mass shootings. And I know that it's going to definitely have an impact on the people who were there yesterday. I can tell you from having covered shootings in the past and talked to victims. I remember after the Vegas shooting, I was working with Dave Ross at the time, and I talked to a young woman there who she hid underneath someone who was shot. And we spoke with her that morning, and she wrote me about 3 years later and said, hey, I'm struggling. The world has moved on, but this event is still front and center for me. Like, I don't go out in public. I don't go to these big things anymore. Sure, there's a certain percentage of people like that's true for. But why bother coming to the big event? I mean, I think it's one of the upsides of regional growth, actually, is that you don't have to come to the big city. There's so many ways to connect in our own communities now. And the hassle of coming downtown, of fighting traffic, for so many people, it doesn't make sense. Right. Like, unless I'm riding the light rail, I really don't want to come down to Seattle anymore. It's just not convenient.
I want to tell this story, and the reason why I want to tell it, I'm going to ask a question first, is because I touched on it in the 9 o'clock hour, and it had to do, I remember when growing up in Chicago on the South Side, unfortunately, there were a lot of shootings, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of gang, a lot of drug activity, all that stuff. And I remember when a shooting would happen in a neighborhood. And I remember my friends and we knew exactly what that meant. That meant either one of us or most of us weren't going to be able to go to different things because we knew that we would be able to go to fewer places. It meant that one of our moms was going to say no.
Mom's locking it down.
Locking down.
Yeah.
And so I guess before I continue with this, I want to ask any of you, when an unfortunate tragedy happens, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chef, and look this up, since I've been here for 27 years, I don't remember anything crazy like this happening at the Bite of Seattle.
There was like in 2012, I think it was, there was some kind of there was a huge fight that happened, but we haven't had a mass shooting like this since the Cafe Racer shooting in 2012 also. Nothing at the bite.
And I'm bringing this up because I just want to know, are you going to do things differently? Are you, maybe you have a teenager, going to restrict them more? Because I know for me, coming up, the boundaries got smaller anytime something happened, which when I grew up, it was a lot of times something happened. Even though we weren't involved in anything, sometimes the consequences of a story like this can reach other people. Unfortunately, that's what violence does. It could change how families live. It could change how families think. It could change where kids are allowed to go. It can change how parents sleep at night. It just steals the freedom of people. Just think about what we're talking about today. And there's someone that's not going to be able to go hang out with their friends downtown because that mom or dad said no. You were going to go and you were going to go do this little fun thing with your friends. You're going to go hang out at South Center. That got told no. So this impact, not just on the families. I want to make sure the families, the victims, the first responders, the vendors, people that were there. There will be people going forward that were at that bite, that were at the event, that now they might have a hard time with crowds the rest of their life.
We're getting a lot of people writing in.
Okay, talk to me.
A lot of people writing in. 253 says gun violence in America's risen to the level of terrorism. Rachel in Lakewood said, I already started avoiding big events. I don't like my kids to go anywhere to big events because of stuff like this. Charlton Everett says, my cousin was right there when the shooting started yesterday. They're fine. His family. I didn't go because of the conversation you guys had last week.
Oh, I knew it. What was that other text? That text you just said? Because of the conversation we had last week.
Yes.
I want to say something. I felt really bad about that. I felt that I shouldn't have done it.
Because we were saying, hey, it's less of a local event, and
I shouldn't have done that.
Maybe it's not what it...
Yeah, because that's what I said. I talked about just that. I started talking about different things to do locally. I even, on Saturday, took my granddaughter to, Lillian and I, we took her to the Renton River Days. Yep. I hope I'm saying that right. By the way, it was phenomenal, fantastic what they were doing there. So we did it local. And on Sunday, yesterday, we ended up going to the Seattle Aquarium. And I just, like these different things that end up happening and the impact that it will have on people and on families going forward, it's crazy. But let's remember, behind every single headline, every number, every press conference that's going to happen going forward, even people like me talking about this, I just want to say human beings were involved. These are people who were loved. These are people that mattered. These are people whose lives will be forever changed, forever. Now, our news cycle will move forward. Seattle will move forward. It always does, unfortunately. It really does. And it's probably the hardest part of my job. The hardest part of my job is when I come on here and I talk about the awfulness and talking about a tragedy that happens, is how I move on to talk about other stories. So I just want to make sure that my tone continues to hold space for these families and the people that were impacted. I hope that I continue to do a better job of leading with compassion and empathy, because the real story needs to be on the people, the victims that were impacted on this. Not just our city, but the people, the victims, the vendors, Everybody was there. If you had that feeling of running during that time, there were people trampled, all of that stuff. And more importantly, the real story is what has happened to our neighbors. Break it down like that. These are all of our neighbors. More on the Gee Ursula Show next.
KIRO Newsradio, where you hear Jake and Spike. Weekdays noon to 3.
Well, this weekend, Jimothy ran in the salmon run, and I wish Mariner Marketing had taken just a couple more minutes or hours for what? Give us a better Jimothy.
The Jimothy costume is not perfect.
It was lacking.
What would you have them do?
I have them build a real costume.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
It didn't look great. It was a guy in a mask.
Watch live or later. Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Epperson is racing over, slides up! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town this Friday, and the fun gets started with 50 Seasons Fireworks Night, presented by T-Mobile. Then don't miss Aloha Shirt Day Saturday, presented by Fred Meyer, and Super Mario Day Sunday, featuring a Julio Rodriguez bobblehead giveaway. Thanks to Nintendo. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net. Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, humpback whales stole the show this week. On one unforgettable evening, more than 20 humpbacks were spotted spouting across the Strait of Juan de Fuca, capped by an incredible double breach. Later in the week, fan favorites Stitch and Trident circled nearby for a full hour, treating passengers to the look of a lifetime, while Hemlock breached and slapped her long white flippers again and again. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers half-day and full-day guaranteed whale-watching tours departing from Edmonds, Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Morning departures often sell out, so be sure to check out their afternoon departures as well. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Jonathan here from DUI Heroes. Summer's a time to celebrate, but also a time when DUI arrests go up. Please be safe out there and don't make the mistake of drinking and driving. But if you do make that mistake, DUI Heroes is here for you to help get your life back together. We defend you, the person, the human, during the traumatizing and stressful time of going through this. That's why we call ourselves DUI Heroes. Because when the odds are stacked against you, you need a hero on your side. So get your free case evaluation at 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The White House says President Trump decided against striking Iran forcefully this weekend, despite continued claims he made about a major attack being imminent. More from ABC's Karen Travers.
We do know that the president last week, as he was heading into a meeting on Friday with senior advisors, was considering a major escalation. That, of course, had come after 13 nights of consecutive strikes by the United States against Iran. But there were a couple considerations there. One, the depleted stockpile of air defense systems, and also just concerns about trying to give diplomacy and negotiations some room to breathe and see if it could play out.
Here in Washington, 3 people are dead and 4 others wounded after a shooting at the Bite of Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports city leaders delayed crucial information for the public in order to wait for politicians to arrive for a press conference.
7 victims hit by bullets fired by, sources say, 2 rival gang members. 2 died at the scene, another died at Harborview Medical Center. However, as reporters waited for crucial information like, was there another gunman on the loose? City leaders delayed their press conference by hours, police explaining other dignitaries wanted to be there. And when Governor Ferguson and Representative Pramila Jayapal showed up,
I just want to express my deep appreciation for the first responders.
Our prayers, our hearts are with all those who were affected by tonight.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
4 victims survived. Only the 2-year-old remains hospitalized. Police say they arrested 1 suspect and recovered 2 guns. New details are out about a dangerous domestic violence incident in Snohomish County. It happened earlier this month when deputies say an armed suspect threatened residents with a knife before barricading himself inside and setting the house on fire. Deputies forced their way into the burning home.
Okay. Get on the ground.
They arrested the suspect, confirmed no one else was inside the home, and Snohomish Fire put out the flames. The suspect is in jail on multiple felony charges, including 2 outstanding warrants. A Starbucks in Moses Lake was forced to close after a pickup truck crashed into its drive-thru. Witnesses tell police the driver was wearing headphones and driving recklessly before losing control and hitting the building. Moses Lake police say the 61-year-old then backed away from the store before stopping. 1 employee suffered injuries. The man will be cited for reckless driving. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Right now, we're looking pretty much better. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour. And now Valley Freeway, it's under 40 minutes. It's about an hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Bellevue or Everett to Seattle. The lake bridges remain clear. This traffic report is brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Open a money market special online with 3.75 annual percentage yield with full access to the money the entire time at harborstone.com/moneymarket, insured by NCUA. And for your forecast, expect sunshine this afternoon and highs close to 80. Right now, it's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Scenarios will happen here pretty soon. But before we get to this next topic, I just want to say it is hard for me to move away from the topic. As we all know, what happened downtown Seattle. And my heart goes out to the 3 people that are now deceased, 4 people that were shot, including a 2-year-old baby. So in 11 o'clock hour, Luke Ducey will come back in just in case there's any updates to what happened yesterday. But right now, question, when does middle age actually happen? And that's a question that Atlantic is asking, and the most common definition is somewhere between the ages of 40 and 60. But 55% of Americans say 65 is still middle-aged, and 20% of adults between the ages of 25 and 34, they already feel middle-aged. But a leading psychologist says middle age has less to do with the number and more to do with your role. You become middle-aged when younger and older people are looking to you for help. So, you might be raising children, helping them navigate college or early adulthood, or mentoring people at work. At the same time, you might be caring for aging parents, or looking after elderly neighbors, or maybe you're volunteering in your community or you're active in your church. Basically, middle age is when you're giving more of you than you're getting. And I got to tell you, in reading this article, that part right there hit me in my chest, because it really is. And the reason why I'm saying that, Chef, is because, man, I felt way older 15 years ago than I do right now.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Why?
What? The stress, man.
Yeah.
The stress. And by the way, some of you all are parents and everything, and you're trying to imagine. Here's why. Imagine doing the best you can, all while knowing that it is not enough.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's the worst feeling.
I was never walking around like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's all figured out. I think middle-aged or feeling that way, you're so exhausted and tired. And what are you tired from? Just not winning. A feeling of just not winning, consistent. I'm like, those one of those things, Chef, where you work all week. Correct? Rock with me here. You've been working all week. 2 weeks. That paycheck comes, and when that paycheck gets ready to come, have you guys ever had a time when you know that paycheck is already spoken for? Where you know everything. You know what's coming out, not just the taxes and the child support, all that kind of. I'm talking about, you know, bam, this next check that's coming. This is why people still to this day love 3 paychecks in a month. Anybody love that the way that I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
that's
one of them a year,
it's like
2 of
an
them a year.
extra paycheck. So that's the exhaustion you feel. Now, Chef, you're younger than I am. I want to ask you.
Uh-huh.
You ever feel middle-aged, bruh?
I'm starting to. I always thought of being middle-aged is like, okay, you've been married for a while, you've got kids, right? You've hit certain milestones in your life. You've got the house, or maybe you've got the first divorce under your belt, right? You're hitting this point where your career's going well to the point where maybe you're getting bored in your career. You're thinking about changes. Like, you've reached this point where you've already settled a lot of things in your life.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't feel middle-aged because, like, I don't have a house. Like, I live with my parents, right? And so it doesn't feel like I have that kind of responsibility. But at the same time, like, looking at this article, yeah, I am starting to help take care of my folks. And, like, I do have those responsibilities. But I think the traditional, like, for so many people of my generation, they don't hit those markers because they're just not there financially. Like middle age is this, you're supposed to be somewhere and looking back. And so many people my age are looking forward thinking like, am I ever going to hit those milestones?
Yeah. Good point. Barry in the 253 says something that I don't think that when you're younger, you don't really pay attention to this. As you get older, you do. And what Barry in the 253 says, he says, stress breaks the body. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, when I was younger, I didn't really understand that. Today, I think we really do. We understand that stress really does put real emotional heartache, stress. That stuff is not good for the body. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you realize that there are things that are beyond your control. Uh-huh. And so you have to control what you can control. And if you start looking at stress being like, this is how I look at it. Chef, sometimes I look at stress and I'm like, that could be the reason that I'm here or not here. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I look at it like that. I really break those things out. What can I do to help with my stress?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, though, when it comes to stress. When I say the word midlife, what comes to mind, the next word?
The only thing is I look at it differently today than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't feel midlife. I actually feel younger, but what do you got?
Well, because the reason I brought it up is one of the things they talk about in this article is midlife crisis and how that's the biggest thing that we associate with midlife is crisis. And they say that actually research says that's not really a thing. It's a stereotype that we have about midlife, mm-hmm. and that mostly it's a stereotype that we put on men, because we don't talk about midlife as being a crisis point for women. Mm-hmm. It's always about like the guy that's deciding I'm done with this particular chapter.
It is, man. And I got to tell you, I'm going to disagree with the experts. It is real when it comes to men, and I'm saying that because my last car purchase that I had was a midlife crisis thing, right? Like there's some people right there. I know, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, man, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do that. And so when you got enough money, you actually do it. Yes, it's real. I'm glad I got over that midlife crisis. That last car that I had, Chef, was a
midlife crisis car?
Yes, that was midlife crisis car. Absolutely.
Is crisis the right word, though? Because it means like, okay, I made it. I can finally buy the thing I want.
Yeah.
And then you realize it was silly.
Okay, here's why it's a crisis.
Yeah.
Because subconsciously, this is what you're saying. You say things like, I've always wanted this, as if I want to get it now before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a crisis.
While I can.
Text in right now. Tell the truth. 888-973-5476. If those that want to admit, tell me your purchase. Tell me what you did during your midlife crisis. Mine was a car. I got to fully admit it. It was a car.
Better than the alternative.
What did you do? Coming up next, scenarios.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO Newsradio. 97.3 FM, and mynorthwest.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey, everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Before we get to scenarios, whoa! You mean to tell me, did we make a breakthrough? I talked about midlife crisis, and I asked you, what was yours? And boy, I tell you, a lot of y'all are texting in with these confessions. Don't worry, it's between me and you. I won't bring it, but hey, look, Chef tried to tell me what the experts said. I know it's real. I had one partner text in and say, hey, got a divorce, sold my house, everything I had, moved to Aspen, was skiing out there till 2016. I'm telling you, it's real. All right,
yep.
Let's get to scenarios.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I'm spending the day at the lake with some friends. It's 92 degrees, everybody's grilling, and I brought a cooler packed with drinks. About an hour in, people I don't even know start walking over and helping themselves to my cooler without asking. I finally said, hey, that's my stuff. And they tell me, come on, it's summertime. Everybody, your one friend is cool about it. Now, am I wrong for putting my cooler back in my car, locking the doors? Or are they wrong for assuming that they can just come over and take drinks out of the cooler? I need your thoughts on this because some of my friends said I was a little harsh about this, but I hate to use a back in my day moment, but back in my day, you didn't go over to people's cooler that you don't know and dig into it. Your thoughts, please. 888-973-5476. Muckleshoot Casinos or text line text.
How old are you? Are you 17? Because, I don't know, man. Like, if you go to a barbecue and there's a cooler sitting out on the patio, those are drinks for anybody, right? Like, who comes to a party with a six-pack and sticks it in the fridge and like, got the tape, Brian's beer, just for Brian. If you can only bring drinks for yourself, then, yeah, go ahead and hide it in your car to begin with. But, I don't know, man.
Well, wait a minute now. Now, I'm going to go over the show topics. And by the way, Chef, you put these show topics together. And I believe it was 10:30 today. Let me look at the show sheet. Yeah, it wasn't 10:30. It was early today at 9:47 where we talked about how groceries have gone up 33% over the last 7 years. What about that, Chef? Groceries
what about
going
that,
up, bruh?
Yeah, so is everything else at the barbecue. It doesn't sound like you paid for the hot dogs or whatever. Come on, man.
Yeah.
If there's a cooler out, people are going to grab stuff. Like, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Are you grabbing coolers? Like something out of the cooler on the deck?
Not today.
Seriously?
But there used to be a time. That's the thing. A lot of these stories I talk about in the way of like, there was a time. And so what ends up happening is we forget. And maybe you've never been in a situation where you've had to do that. Good on you. But sometimes, you just ain't got it. Hey, it's 92 degrees.
I get it.
I'm a little thirsty. I didn't come prepared. Hey, everybody. Hey, how's it going? Your bro said it was okay. And by the way, I saw my buddies go do it. And then by the time I go, they's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I thought it was cool.
Man, it's summertime. Sure. Like, I've been in a situation where, like, you brought something for yourself, you stuck it in the cooler, and then all of a sudden it's gone. That's a bummer. Yeah. But are you going to confront somebody about that in public? Hey, those are mine. I put them out.
Look, let me just say this. There used to be a time that I would bring, let's say somebody's having a big barbecue.
Yeah.
All right, let me just be honest. I'd bring a 6-pack.
Yep.
Okay? Of that 6-pack, I'm looking at it like 3 of those are mine.
Yes, definitely. 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hey, I know.
And then there's one left, and you're like, oh, no.
I mean? And so I'm actually selfish, and I'm paying attention to those things. But I look at it like I try my best, and I think all of us try our best to bring it, man, the more the merrier, man. Hey, it just makes it cool. It's goodwill. It's the flow. Hey, sure thing. Go ahead, get yourself something in the cooler. Even if it's a stranger. Hey, how you doing, man? Frisbee comes over by you. Hey, how's it going, man? Oh, man, I see those. You guys are nice little Modelo's. Oh, man, here, have one. Like, that's community. That's what love and barbecues and cookouts and all that stuff's about.
I don't miss being 22 at all. I don't miss being 22 at all because, like, that's what it was back then. You're like, oh, man, I just got this.
All right. Let's check in with my main man, Nick. Nick, what you got?
Well,
man?
I'm with him feeling like anyone can't be reaching out for drinks in the cooler, especially if it's meant for the family and friends you know going to the party. But this kind of move has some unwritten rules that come along with the territory where people you don't know will be reaching out for their handout for a freebie if you're at a public place. And as much as I agree with the dude feeling salty about the cooler being free for all, you got to know going into it that everyone and their grandma is going to try and get in the offer, even if it's not meant for them. If it means that much to you holding back the beverages for who you know, maybe just get a lock for the cooler or something like that. But I feel like that's reaching out for a little bit extra. Just let everyone have a good time for what you brought over.
Man, some people will say I'm dead wrong.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say, Izzy, my granddaughter's here, and so you're going to get your time to say hello to everyone there. Go ahead and say hello to everybody, Izzy.
Hi.
Izzy, real quick, tell the story of how when we first got here and we flew in, did Grandpa lose his car?
Yes. It was like so silly. It took forever.
And at the airport, I parked it. I didn't take a picture, and I went to go get you, and I forgot where my car was. Were we looking for the car for a long time?
Yeah, it was taking it was 2 hours.
Did Grandpa seriously look like he was going to panic?
Yes.
Was he scared?
Were you mad at Grandpa?
Yeah, I was so mad.
Well, why were you mad?
Because you have to think before you do stuff.
You heard it. You got to think before you do stuff. All right. Hey, by the way, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, I just found out we're going to be taking
a joint press conference.
A joint press conference that's going to be coming up. We will be taking that here live. It is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Tune in to elevate your wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed